our guy Tyler Lockett sitting down. We'll get the headsets on him and have a conversation. I feel like it's been a minute since we've had a chance to talk to him.
Oh, it's been an off season.
Yeah, it's been an off season. We were just commenting. You guys were doing some drills running up the berm there. You didn't look very interested in that. I was watching you climb over the fence.
Yeah.
You kind of got on your stomach and swung one leg over, then swung the other.
Yeah, I didn't want to use too much energy.
Do you think your rookie year you'd have just stood there and just hopped right over like a bunny rabbit there?
Rookie year, I might have walked all the way around.
Well, how the off season go for you? How you feeling coming into camp now?
Man, I feel pretty good. I mean, obviously it was a different off season with all the changes and stuff like that. But I think it was really good, man. We went into the off season, came up here for OTAs, got to meet the coaches, kind of like had to adjust, a little bit when it came to a lot of the stuff that they wanted to be able to bring. And then you get about 6 weeks off to be able to get your mind right, get your body right. And now you know what to expect because you were able to kind of get a glimpse of it in OTA. So I think it's really been great out here, man. I think everybody's getting along and everybody's pushing each other. And, I mean, that's what you want, especially at the start of camp.
Man, I got 9 years in. I wanted to get 10 so bad. You're in your 10th year. I mean, that's an awesome accomplishment. Is that something that was kind of a goal of yours? Or?
No, I wanted to play 8. At least when I first started, my goal was to, kind of get to 8. And I wouldn't even say it was a goal. It was just like if people said, man, what's the longest you would want to play? I'm like, probably 8.
Is that right?
But I woke up, I think, going into camp the first day, and I was like, this can't be year 10. And I was like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I said, there's no way I've been playing 10 years. And so, I mean, it's truly a blessing. I thank God, for still putting me in this position. Shout out to Snides for just being able to make that tough decision. Obviously, I'm sure they had to figure out if they wanted to keep me or not. So, really appreciative that they kept me. And, they believe that I still have more in the tank to give. And, that's what I'm here to do is just give it everything I got.
Well, what does that do for you in terms of motivation, knowing that they're up there going, is he with us, is he not, that they're thinking of you in that way where you've been – I've said, in my opinion, you're the second best receiver in the history of this organization behind Steve Largent. I mean, you've been huge for this organization for so many years, but now it happens to everybody when you get older and you hear those conversations. How does that motivate you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I appreciate it, man, for, your words and stuff like that. I think for me, man, it's a part of the game. Once you get in your 30s, you understand that, things happen, politics get involved, decisions have to be made. It's more business-oriented, a lot of stuff like that. But for me, it's all about however long you want to play. That's all you can control, and that's all you got to be able to focus on. You can't focus on what team is going to be for because this is more of a business. Sometimes we treat it kind of like this is still that extracurricular activity, and it's not. You know what I mean? So I think for me it's like, in the long run, you want to be here. You're familiar with here. You love being here. They love having you here. But you still got to be able to produce. And so that's something that's understandable. If they felt like I didn't produce enough, I can't do nothing but just shake the hand and go the next way. But they want me to be here. I'm still happy to be here. And now I'm able to just continue to grow my game, continue to get better. It doesn't matter if I'm 31, 32 years old. There's still room for improvement when it comes to me still being able to play this game.
All right, so what was on your list to improve on coming into this camp? Or do you just kind of come across those as they come?
Well, I mean, it was this story that I heard, and it kind of like made me think about things in a different way. I'll talk about it maybe one day, but it kind of made me want to do things a lot different. Obviously, when you've been at this place for so long, you know how to train, you know how to grind, but sometimes you got to just be able to try to take it a step further and see how far you can get. Obviously, you still grind smart, but you can still push yourself in a way to where you take yourself where you've never taken yourself before. And so I think, even coming into camp, I mean, obviously, as you get older, it's not that you get slower, but sometimes the younger guys get faster, right? And so you learn different ways of being able to make better moves, to sell your route a little bit better, to be able to set them up more at the line or just being able to focus more on drive phase. And so for me, it's those little intricacies that allow you to be able to create 2 steps of a separation rather than a half a step. And so those are the things that I kind of been focusing on a lot more.
When you look at your season last season, the numbers aren't what you were doing every year. They weren't that far off, though.
Yeah.
So do you look at last season as a disappointment? Do you feel like, man, I didn't do this well, that well? Did you feel differently physically, or how do you view last season?
I mean, last season wasn't like the other seasons, but at the same time, there's not a lot of receivers that do 4 or 5 years straight, of 1,000 yards. So, I mean, sometimes you can put somebody in this high position to where it's like, okay, we know where he's always at. He should be able to get here. But at the same time, I mean, we bring in so many other great players. Got to figure out how to give everybody the ball. Sometimes it takes away from routes and stuff that you're used to being able to do because now we don't do that anymore. And so there's a lot of things that go into the game of, how we get to the stats that we get. It's only one football. We can't throw everybody the ball. So sometimes the teams will get other people a chance to be able to get the ball more. So obviously for me, like the stats might have not been where I wanted to be, but I think that I did the role that they wanted me to play to the best of my ability. And I think that's all that you can do because everybody gets different roles. And, I mean, you see it through other teams. Some guys, their role is to get the ball 20 times a game. But, sometimes they can't do that unless the other people do their role and get everybody else open. So, sometimes, the difference here in Seattle is it's not always about us being able to get the ball 24/7. We go into the games and we don't know what's going to happen or who's going to get the ball. I might have thought that I was somebody that's just supposed to get somebody else open because that's what it was the whole week, and then I end up with 7 or 8 targets, so you just never knew. And so I think I did what they asked me to do to the best of my ability, and I think that I did a great job in being able to help other guys around me get better and allow them to be able to take the next steps in the things that they want to do. But did it look bad on my part to the outside world? Probably so, because they only look at stats. They don't look at all the other things that we have to bring inside the building or with other people on the field.
Everything you say is always so philosophical. I feel bad asking this question. Would you wear the protective helmet in a game? Isn't that an option? The Guardian.
I'm not wearing
cap.
it. I don't plan on wearing it.
No. I wouldn't think anybody would.
No, I don't think anybody would unless they forced you and said that it was a fine if you didn't.
Because why? Because of just the extra weight, and it just feels different?
I mean, I don't really pay attention to it, but, I mean, I'd rather them see the logo of the team that we play for.
Yeah.
Rather than just seeing the helmet. At this point, I mean, it's cool to wear it in practice, you know what I mean? But at the same time, show the Seahawks.
Yeah. Right.
Especially with the throwbacks.
Who cares about safety? Right?
You just got to look good.
That's one thing, Tyler. You've always been really good at sort of absorbing hits. I feel like that's a talent of yours because, there's lots of times receivers get blown up, right?
Oh yeah.
And you have a way of kind of softening the blow. It seems like a little bit. Is that just something instinctive, or do you work on that, or?
I think sometimes it's just a matter of you got to pick and choose which hits to take. Obviously, if it's third down and some change, you want to be able to do what you can to get the first down. But, if you're going to get hit by 4 people and it's second down, why run the risk of getting hit by 4 people?
Right.
Obviously, to the fans and stuff, they get upset because they're like, oh, he's weak. He's scared. But, I think
smart.
But I think, at the end of the day, in our game that we play, it's about durability. And it's about if you're not being able to keep yourself available, it's the next man up. And if the next man up does just as good as you, now you don't have a job. And sometimes they see these guys delivering the blows. They see these guys getting hit, but they don't see the guys having to go to treatment after that and having to be able to miss practice and trying to figure out if they're going to be able to play just to get to the next week. Not let alone if it's a Thursday night game, so they just see the Sundays. They don't see Monday through Saturday, which is where a lot of those hits tailor into, okay, what do we have planned for this guy going into this week because he can't practice.
Right. Hey, last one before we let you go. Something that Dave and I have talked a lot about with all the players that come through here, young guys. We'll talk to guys as rookies and go, man, what a great kid, enthusiastic, really, really engaged. Hopefully they stay that way. And then invariably guys change as their fame grows and their bank account grows and all that. You've been the same guy since you got here, and I mean that in the best possible way.
Yeah, I appreciate
You've
that.
always been humble and very thoughtful with your answers, and your fame has grown, and obviously bank account and all that. But you remain this guy. Is that just your upbringing? Is that mentors around you keeping you in check? I know Doug used to give you a hard time in a friendly way when he's here, but I mean, it is pretty remarkable that you've been this guy for a decade.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest thing is like just where I grew up at, like in Oklahoma and Tulsa. I mean, not a lot of people had much, right? And so we just learned how to be able to like make the best out of everything that we all had. And so it didn't matter if you had a little, if you had a lot, it was enough because we made it enough and we made it fun. So I think just growing up there and being able to learn how to enjoy without having much and enjoy with having a little gave us the chance to be able to realize that even when you get more, you still find excitement and enjoyment in the small things. So sometimes it's like you can come here and things can get super repetitive, but you can be like, I can still find the most exciting things and the most fun in these small things. You learn how to make $10 stretch. You know what I mean? You work your job. I worked at Jiffy Lube in high school. So it's like you work at Jiffy Lube. Well, to the person that's older, about $300 to $500, working there isn't really nothing. But to me in high school, it's everything. And if I can put $300 in the bank and have $200 in my pocket, I'm winning. And then you go to college and they say, all right, we get $750 a month. Well, the way we did it, it was $300 for the rooms. And then all of a sudden you paid a little bit of bills, so maybe like $400 in total. Well, now you got to survive off of $350 for the rest of the month. And that goes with being able to pay for breakfast and pay for lunch. So you find ways to be able to make that dollar stretch, and you find ways to still enjoy yourselves to the way to when you start making all this money, you don't really need to spend it. A lot of people, they'll learn as you get to this position, a lot of people will do things for you for free rather than you spend money. But sometimes people would just rather spend money than to be able to accept the things for free that comes with maybe being on the Seahawks or being within your agencies and stuff like that.
It's pretty cool when people want to do stuff for you for free.
I agree. Cool. You just got to make sure it doesn't come with other things. I'll take this, but what's the catch?
Yeah, what do you need me to do?
Okay, no catch, cool.
And you're still the best realtor on the team.
Right? Well, I appreciate that. I think I'm the only one. Mario Bailey, shout out to Mario Bailey. He's an agent too.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Right. Oh, you crushed Mario.
Oh, yeah. Well. I think at the end of the day, as long as we can get one person, it is a win.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Tyler, we love talking to you, man. You're a credit to this organization.
Thank you.
You have been, and I'm glad to see you back this year. And, of course, we wish you nothing but the best and appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
There you go. The great Tyler Lockett, everybody. Always good to talk to him. We're going to come back.